Are you gonna join the committee?
No,
Aw.
thank you. That's nice, I'll offer, but no thank you. The committee is keeping me pretty busy.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to thank you for your help on that grant.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. And you guys did a great job actually getting it in, which is a key component, you know.
Jeff was on that.
Yeah, he sure was.
Yep.
He did a job that. I don't know if you heard, I felt really bad that a letter of support from Raphael Macias came in just like half an hour too late.
Yeah.
And Raphael, he had moved heaven and earth because he'd been on his way to Augusta
Mm.
to finish up his campaign reporting or something, and he got there, he was gonna give it to the aide he's supposed to work with, but that person was out of the office, so we had to find a different person. That person did, and it just like, you know, it just didn't work. So anyway, else, I don't think they will accept it later, but we can ask.
Yep. There's no harm in trying.
If possibly, if Raphael himself walks in and asks,
Wow.
might be a good option, I don't know. Is this, do we have people there? Oh, yes. Yeah, I think I will, if you guys don't mind. I can see the people that I want.
Well, that's not going to be here tonight.
Anybody here for Jackie?
Jackie's right up there.
Oh, wait, no, Jackie, sorry.
I'm here. I'm giving up a big Christmas party to be here, so be nice to me.
Jackie was very punctual.
Is Vicky? What I meant to say was Victoria. Yeah.
I don't see anything.
No.
Phone devices off.
That means somehow we're gonna have to take notes.
I will take notes. I actually was gonna take notes anyway. I can take notes and send them to you or something. You can pretty them up and. Do I do that? I was gonna take notes anyway, so
God.
just for my own, just for my own
Thanks for
information.
I'm just gonna. Still open?
Yeah. Double thanks for coming.
Yes, no problem at all. I have to keep the computer open because I might have to take a support message or something because we deserted a colleague back at the office on his own, you know, handling things and. Yeah. Oh,
Well, okay, so here we are, I guess.
Can you
We'll get
folks hear
started.
me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Good.
Yes. Like your pink hat.
Yeah, was purple originally. I knit it from some local yarn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Do come see us in person at a meeting next time so we can meet. We
I-
did see you at the Energy Committee meeting, the public meeting. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You brought your husband.
I had to drive. Yes, I had a driver. I don't drive at night. That's why I'm very happy we have Zoom.
traffic from Cooksville, that was really bad. It was
Oh,
bad.
good.
You know,
She's here.
that too.
Victoria.
That's a raw deal.
Indeed bad.
Well, Jeanette, you're off the hook.
Oh, am I? Oh, great.
Just give me a second here.
Yes, yeah, you volunteered. Having secretary.
Yeah, I was planning to take notes anyway, so they said, oh, we need somebody to, I said, well, I was planning to do that.
By all means, take notes.
Well, I will take my own notes and then.
Let's see.
Let's see if I
We
can
can give,
restart my computer.
give Victoria a couple
Yeah.
minutes here.
I can use my public. Oh, no, then we have to wait for. official.
No, I think let's just wait.
Yeah.
Until.
There's my template.
All right.
Really?
I'm ready.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, usually you're
That was
here
quick.
15 minutes early. Okay, well, let's get started. Invitation to public comment. We have somebody here who would like to comment.
I would like to make a public comment. My
You
name
want to
is,
say your name?
I will. My name is Jeanette McNeil. I live at 2 Brookside Drive here in Topsham. And my comment is just that I would like to very much thank the Energy Committee for their letter of support for the Complete Streets grant, which the staff not only contributed to, but also successfully submitted on Tuesday. So the grant has gone in, but I wanted to thank you. I really appreciated that. We got a lot of letters of support and they were all great. And we just really appreciated you doing that. So that's my whole comment.
Piece of cake. Thank you. for-
Well, thank you. I think you had to sign and Yvette had to sign and
I know, that was a lot. That was so difficult. Anyway, it's a kindred project. Then let's approve or not approve, anybody got anything on the minutes that they would like to?
They look
Maybe
good
not.
to me,
Yeah.
look complete.
So do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Yeah, so move.
I'll second. All in favor? Okay, they're approved. So Sky, anything you have
Yes,
updates?
I
Yes.
do.
All right.
The next community meeting has been advertised on February 4th at 6:30 p.m. I did not intend to do that without talking to you guys, but the deadline for the crier got moved up faster than I thought it was going to. And since it was gonna need to be so early in February anyway, I felt like it was really important to get it in the January crier. Because if we just did it in February, I think people would only have a couple days.
It would not
And-
be, wouldn't have worked. Yeah.
So I made an executive choice. It was really the only night that worked for everyone, and I kind of went with the time. It's the same one we've been doing. I hope that's okay with everyone.
Works for me.
Okay,
What,
great.
is it 6:30? Is that what you said? Yeah, that's fine. I think that's good because it's after dinner time.
It's what we've been doing. We've been getting
Yeah.
good turnout, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Good.
And honestly, I mean, we didn't have it in the crier last time and we still had good turnout, but I felt like you guys were owed a crier at this time.
We should take advantage of it. Thank you for taking initiative.
Yes, and I can show you guys the
Oh.
graphic. I kind of threw it together if you want, but
Oh, yeah, put it up. I mean, I
Yeah.
saw it on email, but,
let me see if I can find it.
oh, why? Oh,
I actually don't know where. Let's see if it's in my downloads. I think it's this. I think this. Canva and I were fighting a little bit. Okay, well, it's this but compressed down, and I know it says
nice.
November 18th. I did miss that. I'm hoping people don't look at that too much. I think this will catch them, and we'll put it on the sign. We'll put it on Facebook as we have for everything else. I had about 15 minutes to make this, so
Oh dear.
sorry, you can't see it, Nancy.
That's all
Let
right.
me share my screen.
I trust
for
you did a
to-
good job.
Yeah, it's not a big thing that says it. It's not super big. It's just this little graphic. I didn't catch it. FB didn't have the contract time to do it, so I had said I would do it. So they sent me their templates and I just didn't catch that. So I think we'll be okay. But yeah, this is what went out. But like compressed down into a square. So it's what's gone out in the past. Just I chose yellow for this time's theme.
The color is good. That'll get their attention before a lot of words, so they're good.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. And I think we got it on the electronic sign last time, and I think that got a lot of people as well as maybe some new people. So that was good. And I can wait until you have this on the agenda. I have some thoughts about promotional materials and stuff, but we can wait till we're there on the agenda.
mhm.
I think I don't really have any other staff updates beyond that. That's all that's in my book.
Okay. Great, thank you. Let's see, so I did go to the select board and made a presentation. I didn't do the usual read the whole thing kind of thing, and that seemed to work well. I felt that it was pretty warm reception. I sort of go into to be perfectly honest, I go into those meetings expecting to get lambasted for one reason or another. And it was kind of the opposite. There were some good questions asked. And the biggest question was so, if this plan gets approved, what do you plan on doing? I said, well, a plan is designed to outline actions. So we plan on following through with, the actions if it gets approved.
Yeah.
And generally, they seem kind of kind of into it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you invite them that these are many actions that they could be taking and that the town is asking them to be taking?
no.
Is that pushing too much?
No, and I did let them know that we were a little bit, kind of like, I don't know, I personally was a little taken aback when, Mark told us that our charge is over.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, exactly.
They were, pretty straight about, they've called, I guess, basically all the committees, to, finish, this charge and then give them a new one. So, I think I think it'll work out well. In terms of having us kind of go back to the table and, figure out what implementation of the plan, assuming it can get approved, what that would actually look like. So in a sense, it's a good punctuation point. And, they tried to make it abundantly clear that it wasn't, they weren't singling us out, and, that it was all committees that were being called that way. And I mean, I think it's a good move, actually. Yeah. So. Anything else on that? Any questions?
Well, the question is, at what point do they want specific, us to come up with some sort of prioritizing of actions? Or, I mean, I'm absolutely thrilled that 49 people want a study of a public transportation plan for Topsham. That's what came out of our last meeting, and I'd love to take action on that and say this should be part of our planning process now, because this is the one item that more people, or more dots anyway, more people and had higher priorities, and those who had higher priorities want an alternative to being a driving shopping mecca, which is what the town is now. So how do we
Well, I think we're gonna, in the next item on the agenda, talk about some of that, because, Victor had a really good point. And it's one, in your assessment of the green, or corrections or whatever, your comments on the greenhouse gas inventory. Where we don't really have any specifics in the plan yet, we need some numerical
Okay.
goals, so we need specifics. We've got a sort of a snapshot of, the way things are right now, but we don't have any plan for the future in this yet, so. Anyway, I think we'll get to that,
Yeah,
very soon.
and the vulnerability, I mean, we have sort of the proposed vulnerability items, so we don't have, how to address those, or we don't have, haven't gone through the process of figuring out what is the most important and what the priorities are yet, so. We had that information from the last public meeting, but we're gonna have to sift through that at some point here and figure out what it looks like the priorities are from that meeting, and then possibly this next public workshop will narrow it some more.
Looks like Jackie has a comment.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that.
Jackie.
Jackie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jackie.
Okay, two questions really. One is, if Victor sent in comments about the greenhouse gas inventory, I didn't see them. That's,
I did them on the Google Doc.
I don't use Google Docs, so that's,
Okay.
that's why I email everything to everyone. When I make comments, somebody wants to put them up, that's fine, but I do not use Google and I will not, so.
Oh,
All right.
okay. On that.
The other, which just left my brain, do we have any, an actual data set from the workshop? How many items had how many dots? Because I haven't seen anything. I know that there were thousands of dots, but
Yeah, I don't think we,
Nancy's saying that transportation got a lot of dots. Okay, fine, but what else got a lot of dots? I mean, there at least should be a little report that says each item and how many dots it got.
Jackie, that's on the Google site, which I also have trouble getting to. But
Yep.
that's where the pictures were, Victoria took pictures of all of those boards and they're on
Oh,
the Google Doc. And I went in there and somehow I got in and found them and read them and added them up and wrote down the priorities and maybe.
okay.
I think what Jackie's saying though is that the consultants were going to come back to us with, numbers of
Yeah, I
those prioritizing all those dots, I think. Did they come to
Yes,
Sky?
so they pulled together a big list of the priority actions. Those priority actions were sent to Mark Waltz and I, and we edited that list further. They have then since sent an updated priority list document to me, and I think that will be getting out to you guys shortly.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Everyone's trying to pull together all of the pieces right now. I know I spoke with Meg today. She's working on pulling everything together. She got that list today, so I think at this point you'll be seeing things in probably the final report form, and commenting on that.
And do we have a quote final on the social vulnerability?
I just received that today, so you'll probably be getting that soon.
Okay.
Things
thank
usually go out to me first, just to have me look them over.
you. Okay. I don't like them being called final when I haven't seen them.
Summary of.
I think they're final, from the consultant. I mean,
I'm
yeah,
not.
I won't debate semantics with you on that, Jackie. The consultants on this project have been pulled pretty tight on a lot of things, so
Yeah.
I think we need to have some understanding in that regard.
I'm
towards
okay with that, but I do, if we're being asked to make comments, I'm hoping that those comments are being taken into consideration and the changes are made. I mean, I found a completely stupid sentence in the greenhouse gas inventory. It only needed one word change to make it make sense. But left as it wasn't good. We are paying for this.
At limited hours, very limited hours.
Okay,
Thank you.
remember, I'm new.
Your comments are helpful, but everything won't be perfect because they can only give it so much time.
And when you see, so I know you don't like the term final draft, but when I use that, I just mean everything has been pulled together. It is ready for final comments.
Okay,
So I think at this point, you're probably going to see a full draft. So maybe that's a better term, everything pulled together.
Yeah, I have to
And
say I
you'll
was
comment.
confused by
Yeah,
that
I'm
too.
sorry about that. So
Yeah.
maybe full draft is the way of putting it. So because right now you've seen disparate pieces,
Yes.
like this piece. I think everything is being pulled together and then you're going to get the chance to review it. But I will say I wasn't here in November. Meg and I had a meeting about something else kind of today, and we talked about this a little bit. So we might be ships passing in the night a little bit. I
Sure.
think things are coming soon.
Okay, thank you.
I wanted to mention that in the grant that the Bike Ped Committee just submitted, the state had a list of items from which you could choose to say, the list of items was, these are things that the state thinks are good for climate change, which one do you want to pick, kind of thing. And one of them was a complete streets plan for bike, ped, and transit. And I did not emphasize transit in the grant text. I mean, it was mentioned once or twice, but I didn't emphasize it because I didn't know anything was happening on that. So if you guys decide to do something on transit, if you would let us know, that would be really helpful. I don't know if we're going to get the grant, but if we did, that was in there too. So just a comment.
Were you gonna say something, Nancy?
Well, briefly, I believe that comment that got the 49 positive responses was that the town make a study of public transit. It's not us as an energy committee, the town would do that, right? Am I correct?
I'll add a slight caveat to that, Nancy. I think those actions that were voted upon, the consultant then paired with potential groups that could work on them. I don't remember if you guys were listed under that one or not, honestly. Like there were some that were like, keep working with BTLT to conserve lands, and the Commission was noted as a partner
Sure.
on that, our committee that could take the lead. So in some of them, it might not have specifically called out a commission or a group, but then the consultant was like, yeah, this makes sense. I can't remember for transit. I do know that it specifically said that the town would look into a needs assessment for public transit. That's what that question was.
Okay, right, so the question to you as the head of the planning department, is this something that you would, your committee, your branch of the town government could take on with some volunteer help from us committee members to gather data and talk with Western Maine Transportation, who does the public transit in Brunswick, and start getting an estimate. This town has did an estimate 8 or more years ago of the cost of a public transport, a bus system, bus route, and with X number of stops, and it was quite a while ago, and it was done by one of the town planners at the time, or economic development staff. So it's been done before. It's not the first time, and it seems to me highly useful and important to do that now, because half the sources of greenhouse gases are from transportation, and it's not just us residents, it's the workers here, and it's the people coming through, and it's the shoppers. And we really, if I have one thing I'd like to promote in this town, is to do that kind of a study, a thoughtful study, and put a lot of time into that to come up with what is the need? The first question is, where is the need? Where would be the most effective stops to make this sort of a program be worth paying for?
Yep, the question was for a local transit option, just as a clarifier for you. I think not regional was specifically called out in the question, and the language did involve a needs assessment and also looking at economic cost to the town as part of it.
It's the first step. And Brunswick already has almost to our bridge transit system that could be connected with if Topsham had a public transit program. And that would make so much sense in the future. But the first step is getting a bus route in town. And it really needs to go to Brunswick to connect with the buses and trains over there. It's not going to do a lot of good just to drive around Topsham, because most of the people coming in and out, driving around town, are going in or out. They're not just staying in Topsham. Right? Let's be realistic here. We're a regional group, residents of almost as continuous with Brunswick, and we should have that kind of link if we're going to have an effective, get people out of their cars is the goal here.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
So should we go into the document, greenhouse gas inventory document?
Sure.
Victor, you had some good comments.
Oh, where is that? I can pull it up on the share screen.
Oh, yeah,
The energy one.
the first few comments were just organizational.
Yeah,
I don't know if does Meg have access to the Google Doc?
I think so.
I think so.
Okay.
I think she was given it. I'm sorry, will you just tell me where it is, Victor? So
It's,
the GHG emissions.
No, it's under, oh, wait a second, where are we?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I opened it from an email
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
yeah, me too.
from Yvette.
I did it from the agenda, yeah.
Is it
There
this?
it is. There it is. It looks
Greenhouse
like
gas.
the one.
No, this
Is
is
that
like 3
one?
months old.
No, that's,
No,
it
it's
doesn't
not
have
this.
comments,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Would one of you mind just sharing it to the Zoom? I try not to open my email when I have the screen
I'll
up.
have one soon. Let me just see if I can get the.
I have it here. Can I share my screen?
If you join the Zoom.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's, yeah.
You want me to just email it to you?
Yeah, if it's at the top, that's fine. I just try not to spend a lot of time on my email when I have my screen up.
Actually, that means I have to save it somewhere first.
You could just forward me the email if you want.
No, I have the document actually open. I think
Oh,
the
okay.
email is long gone.
Yeah, I have
no,
the doc.
Oh, but I probably want to see Victor's comments if that's what we're discussing.
I think,
You can save it, I think you can export it with
Here, if you-
comments.
so that's what I have. I have a
Oh, yeah, the
Adobe.
PDF. Oh, it's a PDF, not a Google Doc. Okay, that's helpful.
All right. So, send it to you.
Actually, you know what? Honestly, Victor, I'll just search in here and then I'll forward it to myself to put it at the top of my inbox. It's like
We'll
most
get
of
it.
the public record, but I just like to be cautious.
I mean, besides the, I mean, we could just, while we're waiting, whatever, besides the, we
Actually,
indent this and remove this heading and whatnot, the last comment I thought was really.
oh, okay, I mean, the
where
most
was it?
significant one is that, I guess, the last comment, and Victoria has a couple of comments, which I have not.
Oh, I
They're
didn't see
pretty-
that.
Tiny, but
Okay.
there's like kind of like a couple
I guess-
misspellings. Although I agreed with your, the need for actions.
I actually might not have had access to it. We'll try it. But, yeah, this was an attachment. I don't actually know what she sent. So I think I'm gonna
Here,
say,
you know what? I'm gonna put Yvette in my search bar and that will come right up.
because I don't think she actually included me on the email out to you guys.
Oh,
Yeah, here it, oh, no, that's the agenda. Ay, ay, ay.
well, actually,
Well, we are really,
yeah, I can just join Zoom.
How did I find it?
I was gonna say.
I'm
I'll
not
just
finding it
join-
on any of my emails.
Oh,
join-
Huh, okay.
If I go on Zoom. If I'm a panelist, I can
Yes.
share my screen.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
You didn't enable audio. great.
Holy moly, stop.
turn off your mic and,
I got it.
How about now? Yeah, that was like joining Dante's Inferno.
Been there, done that.
You've been to Dante's and?
No, but I've done that exact same thing where you get the echo chamber.
This is awful. So.
That's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
how
sorry,
I-
guys. I'm usually a little bit.
How I
overbearing
found
for
this.
okay,
You can always see me on things.
Was it Yvette that sent? Do you remember, Victor? Was it Yvette that sent it?
Yes.
The last
But it
email
was-
I had
what's,
was
how
Yvette
do you
saying
do
she
the
was gonna
share
send it to
screen?
the committee and then I never
It's not
had.
popping up. It's weird.
there was, I got it by just clicking on the link in the agenda.
Is it the one that says draft reviews due 11/8? Or is that an old version? That must be an old version.
Well, why did no one say that? There's this, so.
How's that?
Yep,
There we go.
there
That's-
we go.
Okay, there we go.
Wow,
Yeah,
I'm a genius in my own time.
perfect. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Participants.
Yeah, that's one of the significant comments, but basically
What was
that, if
that?
we go back to the very beginning, I mean, my basic comment was basically the organization, the outline was. Confusing, and
Very.
that's. So I. And I think Jackie mentioned this too,
This part.
yeah, I mean, basically it's, there's a section, there's a community-wide inventory is the section. And then there's an overview, a methodology,
And
a
then it says
summary, a
inventory.
stationary energy, blah, 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 all these sections. But somehow or another, a methodology became a top-level item, which it doesn't, that was just a mistake, I'm sure. And inventory is just another heading, which is groups together the rest of these things. But it's already the community-wide inventory is the whole section, so I think it's redundant. I think inventory should go away. Methodology should be indented. Anyway, it's just, I should think it should be clear. There's two main sections of the report, community-wide and municipal inventory. And then the
Exactly.
conclusion recommendations.
Right.
And you know, anyway, so I simplify that. I would edit it, but it's a PDF, so you can't you can't actually edit it. So anyway, those were, and that, I just pointed it out elsewhere too, is where that was. Oh. Actually, I don't know Victoria's comment about kerosene.
No, it was just a misspelling, that's all.
Oh, okay.
I just,
Oh,
I
yes, I
noticed
see it.
something like that, I
I
pointed out, it's a
Yes,
very
I see
small
it, yes,
thing.
yeah. Good point, I just,
Yeah,
and,
Actually, this is valid.
so, and so in the section on, was it community, municipal inventory, they, there's a graph that shows the stationary, group by sector total, let's see,
yeah, right there.
yeah, so that's total, and then there's the electricity, which is the next one. And then the final one is stationary energy, and it's it's hard to actually placing a stationary electricity emissions. I'm sorry, there's that next one is stationary electricity emissions, and then the final one is heating and cooling emissions. And it looks like from the numbers that the electricity is included. Cooling is, I don't know how this would have been divided up, but anyway, electricity is cooling. So we're counting,
Double counting.
yeah, well, not really double counting, but we're not breaking it down into ways that makes a whole lot of sense.
Oh, right. I
Because
understand
we're-
what you meant by that, but
Yeah, I mean, so the library's, 38 megatons, I'm sorry, metric tons of CO2 in one and 32 in the electricity. So that sounds to me like most of the heating and cooling is being done by heat pumps and their air conditioner or whatever they have. I'm not sure.
Right.
So what I'd like to know is we have the electricity, but I'd like to know is what are we using in terms of fuels, fossil fuels, instead of, and I think it's just a matter of subtracting off the energy, the electricity amount, but anyway,
I think it makes sense the way you worded it in the
Yeah.
comments, you should be able to.
yeah. So anyway, that was my biggest comment, is like, we're not really learning anything from this last chart. On stationary energy. We're not learning as much as we could, let's put it that way.
yeah, because I mean, it's also true of municipal offices, but not true of public works. Which doesn't do cooling
Right, exactly, yes, so, yeah,
or solid waste.
right, exactly. Yes, those are probably all fossil fuels, and anyway, that was, I think, the last thing was just basically, the conclusion of the report was, we can make informed choices from this data about how and it's like, well, we need to actually have, some suggestions here as to what those are going to
Yeah.
be. So I don't know, I mean, I guess in the final report, this is kind of an addendum to the final report.
It's an appendices.
And appendices, yeah, so probably,
So it wouldn't
probably-
necessarily be here.
yeah, it probably belongs in the final report in a section of, here are the action items, and this is the things that address, the energy use would be like insulation and converting to, more efficient sources of heat, et cetera, would be in there. So anyway, that was my only comment there.
Well, it was interesting looking at the Brunswick report. you know,
Yeah.
we're by 2030, we
Yes.
want to have installed X number of heat pumps.
Yeah.
By 2040, we want to have installed, you know, in town or whatever.
Yeah,
You know, there was very specific
Mhm.
deadlines.
yeah. And I think
That's-
that was good because it
Yeah.
gives us, like, for them, it was a way of measuring, you know, like how
Precise.
we're doing.
Precisely.
Without having to do another inventory, you know, to do the whole inventory again, we can just say, hey, you know, we've gotten X number of permits for, you know, heat pump installations or whatever, and we've got. What was the other, well, the installation, we probably don't have a good way to track, because I don't think you need to pull a permit to do that, yeah. But,
Might be considered maintenance.
yeah, it's kind of just, yeah, exactly, and, and solar panels, we can probably figure out from, CMP data. Cause they,
Well, we have permits for that too.
oh, you do it for?
Yeah.
solar?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
oh, it's electrical, yeah. Yeah,
No, we have a specific solar
for
panel.
solar
permit,
panel, oh, okay,
Yeah.
so-
Right? You just did one.
I had to go to see Tom.
I'm sorry, mine was,
For forgiveness.
mine was so old, so long ago, I don't remember.
Yeah, he has a specific solar panel permit, like a photovoltaic permit. is what
Yeah,
he calls
okay,
it.
okay, so those are easy to track that way, and also, the number of interchange agreements that CMP has, you know, so,
Mhm.
interconnect agreements, whatever that CMP has, so, yeah, so I just, it would be an easy thing to track that would help us get a sense of how we're doing, that's all. But yeah, I don't know,
One thing I don't really have even right now is a picture of, you know, how all these parts fit together.
Hmm.
Does anybody, do you, does?
Maybe,
At
maybe
this
slightly
point?
better than you guys, but not probably like great, but we did meet today because, in the last meeting, Mark had said that Josh might be able to do some graphic design
Right,
for the report, and we met about that today, because he is happy and excited to do some. So we were going over it, so my understanding is that everything you've seen thus far is basically an appendices. And then all the information from them is going to be pulled together in a 15 to 20 page document that is the climate action plan.
Right.
That is my understanding thus far.
That would make sense.
okay.
And the
So
actions that were prioritized, are they gonna create sort of a spreadsheet action plan with a, you know, who's responsible and timeline?
There's something like that. There's no timeline associated with it. There's first tier and second tier right now. But there is like a graphic that lists them under those two headers and has organizations and social vulnerability considerations and such.
Okay, so we're waiting on the edge of our seat. And we're gonna need to,
And I think that's what you talked about
Pay
last time,
attention to-
right?
hmm,
That's what you guys talked about last time. I wasn't here, but I did watch the meeting, as you kind of talked about getting the separate pieces, reviewing them as you could.
right,
Josh was gonna try to have, you know, something that's probably like 95% there graphically by January 10th.
Oh,
He can't have it by the first week in January. He's got a site plan thing happening, but he can do it by the second one, and then it'll go out probably at that point, for review. But I think that you guys were reviewing the pieces as they happened, and maybe I need to check in with Meg again about the timelines and things, or maybe we need to talk about them. I wasn't at the last meeting, so I do think that there's
Yeah.
maybe some gaps,
yeah, there
but
was,
that's what I've heard thus far.
yeah, I think we're waiting on, update to the vulnerability assessment.
Yes.
Which I think
I
was,
think that just dropped today, right?
Oh, did you guys get, I know I got an email with it, and sometimes I get it first, and sometimes, she might have sent it to chairs and me, Nick.
yeah.
Sometimes she does
Right,
that
okay,
to start,
okay.
so,
Right,
Okay, so that's great, so
so
that's,
that should be coming out soon.
okay, that's
Yeah.
perfect, yeah, cause I
Yeah.
noticed Meg wanted it by early January, so she could do her work, you know,
Yes,
yes,
yep.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, we talked today, she's good with Josh's timeline of January 10th,
Okay,
that's fine, whenever we get to the point to discuss like the next meeting and stuff, I do probably have some questions and thoughts and stuff, but I don't know where we are on the agenda, actually.
did anyone else have any comments on, the greenhouse gas inventory? document.
I'm trying to remember how Meg measured the car traffic and why that's, because it was measured differently than the 2012 climate plan. It wasn't based on DOT figures of number of cars going over the bridge, but how was it
Well,
measured?
it actually was based on,
I mean, it's-
according to the report, at least, it was based on, vehicle mile travel data based on traffic counts. But,
Oh,
but it was more of a, I forget exactly how it was put, but, or, well, let's see, well, one of the things that was left out was, of course, all of the bus transportation, the school bus
school
transportation.
bus, right, being a regional service.
Yeah, so I think it's probably, and it's close to what other communities are showing. I mean, so I think it's kind of it may be not as precisely tuned as we got last time, but
But
yeah,
it's not
off,
really
but
it's not really comparable to the last issue because it was done in a different manner, right? So how can we really say that we're less?
last time we did it was the same way. We did vehicle miles traveled based on MDOT's traffic counts, so it's very similar in that
Okay.
sense.
All right, thank
I just
you.
think, I just think we didn't, I just, excuse me, I think we didn't add in, the school bus transportation, which is, a significant amount. We did that from, if I remember correctly, we did that from actual fuel used.
Ah,
So that, because, well, we're interested in the emissions. We weren't really interested in how many bus trips, so the fuel used is exactly, if it gets used, then
Precise.
it goes into the atmosphere. So,
okay.
and I guess there might have been some double counting, because now that I think about it, the school buses probably would have tripped some of those counters, like on 196, and
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
they
yeah. As
gone
a,
over those counters, and they
but
would have
not as,
counted a multi-axle vehicle, or, at least a heavy dual axle vehicle, whatever,
yeah.
but, so, anyway, I don't know.
Thank you, Victor, for clarifying some of the complications of our measurements. Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw in there really quick. I think every time Meg has been asked if they're comparable, she has gone, no, not really. So I think that's just helpful for us to all keep in mind that she's not saying that they are, that she just had to use different
Yeah, that's
stuff
what,
enough that she doesn't feel comfortable saying that you can compare them.
Right. But I was interested to see a comparison to, Brunswick's that were fairly similar in terms of the balance of, stationary versus, transportation.
Yeah,
And they have, Route 1 going through their town, so,
Is Brunswick's on their website?
yes, and, Jackie sent us a link too.
Oh, okay, I'll have to, I must have missed that.
I can send it again.
That's okay, I'll find it.
Quite a document.
yeah, no, it's pretty
Yeah, it's much more,
good.
yeah, it's,
Yeah, they have a full-time environmental plan.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
throwing it out there.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think one of the things that was really good about it is that they're very much following the same kind of pattern that Maine Won't Wait has in their sectors and strategies. And so they have broken down each sector and then strategies within each one. And then later on, there's this huge spreadsheet, which does kind of say who's going to do what and what the timeline is. So I would love to see something like that in ours, even if we take much smaller steps, because obviously we don't have the same resources. But I think we're not going to have anything at the end of all of this if we don't have specific goals, targets with timelines, and the whole SMART goals thing. It's really important. I think we have to be able to measure. We have to, and as far as the not being able to compare what was done earlier to what was done now, and this transportation thing, we need to be very sure that when we're measuring later on, that we use the same method that we used this time. So we don't have that little embarrassment.
Well, I think Meg has talked about that as well. You know, that she wasn't trying to match, you know, what was done before, but that the methodology was going to be something that was more easy to replicate in the future.
Right.
I understand.
I remember her saying something like to that effect, that there were reasons for it not being quite the same. But we need to hang on to that for the next time around.
Now, last time around, it was kind of a grassroots effort, and
Yeah.
including a bunch of Bowdoin students to collect the data. So I mean, it was, you know,
Right.
there
Right.
wasn't a well-defined process like
Well,
we're.
can we go back to looking at the greenhouse and inventory, please? We got some things to do here tonight.
I think we're done with that.
Was there a specific place you want to go to, Nancy?
Well, I'm just, is this clear information that the public will be able to make sense out of? I guess is the main question I'm trying to get here. I mean,
I'd like to make a comment about that. This document, the answer might be no. But that's the point of having the climate action plan, is that it takes this information and it makes it clear and
Yeah.
understandable for the public. This
Mhm.
is the technical document that talks about what is being looked at. So this is you read the climate action plan and you wanted to learn
Yep.
more about what we did with the greenhouse gas inventory, so you come here. So I'm not saying yes or no, because I'm probably not the, typical public, but I think that's an important lens to have when we look at this, that this is not
Yeah.
the first thing that someone will see when they talk about greenhouse gas inventories.
This is more,
Right, this is the appendix.
this is
So-
this
Yeah,
is the
but-
deep dive.
Okay, what I would say is that the criticisms that Yvette made of the way these graphs were presented were excellent. I would like to see them implemented. She had ideas about reordering the largest to the smallest percent of energy emissions by stationary energy emissions, for example. I'm looking at that one right now. It could be put in a format that would be, she had some really good suggestions, and I can't remember them all, but I think that pie charts, for example, instead of bar charts, would be easier to read.
Carl.
Yeah, actually,
Most of them
most
are
of,
pie charts.
actually, now they're mostly pie charts
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
they
I
made
haven't-
this-
I see that on your screen, but I don't know how to get to that. I guess that's in the Google Docs. I haven't been able to
There's
get
a
that. I'm
link in
looking
the
at the
agenda.
original ones, which are in black and white, and they're bar charts. So they've already been improved. Good.
You can,
But they
you can
still-
look at it by going to the agenda.
Yeah,
and
I
there's a
forgot, it's
link
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
in
good.
the agenda. And that'll
Okay.
take you.
I'll try that. But it's also up on your screen now.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, she still uses bar charts for comparisons at the end. But I think it works
It's nice to
there.
have a mix.
Yeah, and I think it works there because we're comparing transportation,
right there.
yeah, year by year kind of thing. Or report to report. Let's put it that
Oh,
way.
yeah. If
Yeah.
you go back up to where you are, there's literally exactly what you're
Yeah,
saying.
exactly, yeah.
Like, she's like, you can't completely compare them, but here they are next to each other.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But yeah, so it's, I think it works
Good.
there. I mean,
I hadn't seen
that's-
these newer colored ones. They're much better and easier to read.
Yeah. And she did fix, there was a section where she was talking about the solar energy, the
PPA.
purchase, the PPA, power purchase agreement we had, and she cleaned that up, which was great. So there are definitely some improvements here.
Great.
Yeah, here's the thing about the power purchase agreement right here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's the word that needs to get out of it. Page 15, there's to break, that word break needs to come out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Take out, look at, and put breakdown. Either way.
Yeah, that's, yeah, either way, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think what happened was that they had two versions and somehow the two of them got melded. I've had that happen.
Yeah. I've done that. I'm typing
Mm.
out the sentence and I change the way I'm going to phrase it or change the verb I'm going to use, and I end up with both verbs in there. It's like, wait a second.
Yes, I've written some silly things.
Yeah.
If you're a fast reader, you're scanning, you don't always catch that.
Yeah.
Do we have more on the greenhouse gas inventory? I only say because I think we should make sure we talk about
Yeah,
timelines
I
and
think-
stuff moving forward and just make sure we catch everything on the agenda.
Right.
Also, Meg is not here, so these comments are helpful to discuss amongst each other, but you have to make sure you get them to Meg,
Right.
because I'm not making this document.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will stop sharing.
Okay.
I mean, if you guys have more you want to discuss, I just want to make sure we catch it all.
Anyone else? Okay. So,
Number 3's been done.
Yeah, we already did the select the date for the next workshop.
right, we're all set. with
Cross
that.
that one off.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess I had wanted to discuss 4, just to make sure we were all on the same page.
Yeah.
So you've put an ad in the January crier.
I got an
so
ad in the
maybe note
January
that.
prior, my slapdash effort. But the thing that I wanted to discuss was, so when I was speaking with Meg, she was saying that you guys had wanted people to review the draft before that meeting. You want them to have access to the draft, at least a week before the meeting so they can review it, and come to the meeting prepared. Am I correct with that? That's
Yeah, that was,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring that up is because if that's the case, our promotional materials should probably have QR codes on them to
Hmm.
say, come to this link for the draft. There might
Right.
be slightly more compressed timing of them going out. I'm fine to spend a little bit of time working on them for this thing. I told Julia I would, and you guys aren't meeting again until the end of January. I just wanted to clarify that with you guys. And if you want to put up flyers or hand out postcards, since your next meeting is at the end of January, you'd need to be able to come into the town office to pick them up. That's the other thing.
Sure,
Okay,
sure. Yep, yeah, I'd put some up. I think that's a good idea. And take some to
And
the,
you might get some emails from me in early January asking for maybe some committee decisions and via email, just since I didn't have
Okay.
stuff ready for this meeting,
Yeah.
but we can't wait for January, so.
I've been-
That's me.
Yeah, I think the electronic communications are probably as effective as handing out the cards.
Yeah,
uh,
I would say that I might send out something and say, does anyone want printouts? If you do come to the town office, we'll get them for you,
Yeah.
And, the deal, you have to cut the postcards yourself
Yeah.
and hang flyers yourself.
Sure.
I've been pretty frustrated with my attempts to get the 2 low-income housing communities involved in our processes. There've been some interest from the one across from the Highlands, but no, people didn't actually show up at our last meeting, which I was really disappointed because I expected them to. But the woman that is the environmental organizer there doesn't have a car, so she apparently wasn't able to persuade other people to come, to bring her to the meeting, so. I'm learning,
Back to,
organizing, you need to have last minute reminders of everybody of what's going on. And then my neighbor who wanted to come was recovering from surgery, so couldn't, so. But I've spent up quite a bit of thinking and effort in trying to get trailer park groups involved in this process and the low income housing projects. And I don't feel it's yielded what it could have.
Yeah.
I missed the action item on that. Will you be sending out an email when they're done and then we pick them up?
I'm not
or-
exactly sure what you should just keep an eye out for
Okay.
emails from me in the first week. There might be one asking for, do you guys like the way this looks? Does this meet
Yeah.
what you need? And then there might be, if everyone says yes, okay, if anyone wants them you know, I'll tell Irene to print these for you as you come kind of situation or something. So basically just keep your eyes out for some communications. I'm not in next week. So any work I do on this will start week of New Year's.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was just going to say. Oh, yeah, not really important.
So we've got the crier, posters.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I did remember something previously for these meetings. Yvette has written an email for Irene to send out to the group of emails that we have that just says, hey, we're holding this meeting. You're welcome to come. If one of you can do that and send it to me, we'll get it out. I don't have time to write that and get that done if I'm doing graphics too.
Yeah, okay. We'll probably need the QR code.
Yes, yes, yes. You don't
So-
need to, yeah. You don't need to do anything like over the holidays. I think we can start all this stuff in the beginning of January.
Yeah.
But just as an item
Yeah.
on the list. to
So-
remember.
So Victor, you're going, nodding your head, you're gonna do that, get that summary for Irene to go out? Okay.
I thought Nick was nodding his
Yeah.
head.
Or Nick?
I don't know,
Okay.
we both know.
I'm just checking. I'm just checking to
Yeah.
see what happens.
I'll
Yeah.
raise my hand even.
Yeah.
Yvette's
Yeah, so
done
we
it in
just
the
need to get the
past.
text or, you know.
It's just pretend you're
message.
writing an email to
Yeah.
this whole list and then send it to me and
Okay.
I'll get it to Irene.
Okay.
Sometimes she struggles with tech stuff, so send it to me first. I think that's it for me. I think that's all the things. There's flyers, there's postcards. We usually use the email for Facebook too.
Mhm.
I don't know. I know Yvette's pretty busy, but she's done all of that in the past. If she has the
Yeah.
time to just at least tell you what she's done, I'm happy with the same stuff.
Okay.
And we'll get the sign up too.
Okay,
Actually, I guess I haven't been doing the poster at the library. Nancy, were you doing that?
I can, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Um,
okay, I didn't know
Yep.
who was,
Okay, thank you. I'll write that down.
Yeah, I think that's useful because a lot of people, you
Yeah,
know,
half the people in
there.
town have cards, for sure. Okay.
yeah.
And Sky, you do the Facebook posts, is that?
Yeah, I send the
Okay.
text to Pam to go up.
What else? One other thing. Oh, I guess Nancy and I went to this is not on this subject, I'm sorry, it's a different subject, so are we done with the?
I don't think I had any other.
we're done with
notes.
the agenda, so,
Yeah,
Shoot, I know what you're
Nancy and I
doing.
went to that, the Mount Ararat, what do you wanna call that?
Energy tour.
Energy tour.
Energy tour, yes, the energy facility tour, and actually I was incredibly impressed. It's not just your average heat pump installation by any stretch. It's pretty sophisticated.
I mean, what's it, like 100-ton geothermal or something?
It's got 80 500-foot wells.
80?
80. At least that's all we could count from the diagram that they had. There
With
might be
water,
more.
with water, that pick up the geothermal heat. And and I asked him, why did you drill so terribly far down there? You're not getting that much different, much warmer by going that much deeper. And he said, well, it's
No,
easier to just keep drilling once you've started. I couldn't
Well,
believe it.
It's a surface area he needs, so, you know,
So
it's easier to draw,
Instead of going
Yeah,
side
it's-
down.
it's easier to drill a deeper well than to drill another well, so.
Right,
if,
right,
You know, he
right.
needed 80 at
That was the
500
point.
feet, he was gonna need 160 at 250 feet, so, I mean, that's just.
Where did they put all these wells? Where
Uh,
are they?
Yeah,
Well, I don't know for sure, but it's, you know, in the ground near the building, so.
yeah,
they did the
they're
same
very
thing.
close together. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
They
probably,
Did the same thing at Harriet Beecher Stowe School over in Brunswick. They just drill a whole bunch of wells and then cover the whole thing with dirt.
yeah,
You know, so all the interconnection.
everything is
Is
underground,
down below
But-
ground.
yeah.
What was really impressive, though, Victor, wasn't it to you that they not only get all this huge amount of heat from the 48 degrees or whatever the temperature is underground that comes in and then gets distributed from the liquid form around the building and then converted to an overhead ducts into the classroom in an air form, heat pumps to turn that water heat into the air.
Actually, the heat
Is
pump,
that right?
that was the other interesting thing. The heat pumps actually aren't water to air. They're
They
water
aren't?
to water.
They're
They're
water
water
to
to
water.
water because it's more efficient to pump the water around than it is to pump the air, as you said. And so
It's a radiant.
so
Yeah,
they
but once
actually have heat pumps are distributed throughout the building. We were in a room with 4 of them. And it was about as quiet as we are here with a little bit of a hum. I mean, it was amazing. They're variable speed. So they don't run at full power all the time.
Yeah, that's very
And-
efficient. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it basically puts warm water into the ductwork basically, and then they have fan coils basically where they need them
Yeah.
to distribute it to the classrooms and stuff.
Would you say
and
cam
the other
coils?
things- Fan coils.
Fan coils. Fan coils.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
it's like those little wall mount things, but they're not. They're actually in the ceiling. They're completely hidden, but they're in the ductwork. They have basically a coil where they have hot water and they blow air through it.
they blow
but
air over the hot water to go into the room. Is that how they do it?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed
there
that.
wasn't any
missed that.
ductwork in
There
that
wasn't
room.
air. Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
the other amazing thing is that they filter out not only they keep when they're doing the air circulation in and out of the building, they take out not only the heat so that you're not throwing the heat back outside, but they take out the moisture. They keep the moisture in the
Yes.
building too.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
elaborate, sophisticated air
Completely
conditioning
separate system, but yes, they have this incredible heat exchange system, heat and moisture exchange system for ventilation in the building. But the other thing that was kind of cool was that at certain times of the day, some of the building might be in cooling and some might be in heating, right? The north side versus the sunny south side. And because it's all part of the same ground loop, what happens is basically the cooling side is providing heat for the heating side. They're not drawing, they couldn't, and sometimes they may actually not be drawing any heat at all from the ground. They're just distributing it within the building.
So did they do this when they built the building?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, I
this
see.
is
That's
designed.
how it was funded. They put it in when they built the building.
Yes.
They devised it, yeah.
Yeah, it was, and it's all kinds of all electronic,
This
there's
was
all,
like a bunch of years ago, wasn't it? How many
no, it's just a few years ago.
Oh,
Well, like
years.
5 or 7
3
or
years?
something?
No.
Max,
20 or
max.
21.
Oh,
something
was
No,
like
it wasn't
that.
it wasn't very long ago. It's just three
Yeah.
years operation.
Did they say how much of the heat is powered by solar?
Well, no, it's not. Sahid is not powered by solar. The electricity is powered by solar, and electricity use is high because of the number of heat pumps and fans and things. But geothermal is my impression, and I haven't gotten this for figures yet. Geothermal seems to me to be the biggest heating system in the building. And
he said that there were a couple of very small, relatively small boilers that were, I forget, propane maybe, I'm not sure, or maybe natural gas, whatever. They're not, he says they come on maybe 5% of the time.
Right.
It's only on the really coldest days that they actually need them. And that was to keep the design, they didn't have to drill another 20 wells
Yeah.
in order to handle the cold.
but
days.
also fossil fuels used for heating the water for the kitchen. And that's the constant use.
Right.
That's the main thing
Yeah,
that
that
those
was the
gas
other thing.
boilers do, is they heat
Yeah, they actually,
water for kitchen
they
for
actually-
cooking and
they actually do
spicing
have, they do have solar hot water, but it doesn't get, and they also, I think some of the heat pumps too may actually providing some hot water, but you can't store hot water at like 110 degrees, 120 degrees, which is what the heat pumps can do, and kill the and not
Right.
provide, do not have, bacteria grow. And so they have to heat for drinking and for the cafeteria and stuff like that. I'm sorry, for dishwashing, cafeteria, that kind of stuff. They have to heat the water to 160 or 180 degrees in order
Yeah.
to kill the Legionnaires and all the other stuff. And so they have to have boilers that actually run off
Right,
fossil fuels.
supplemental.
supplement that, so.
Well, sounds amazing.
Yeah, and it's just like, the control system that manages this must be really sophisticated, because it just,
Yeah.
they had, stuff all over. the
And,
place.
but the fact, and maybe when power, hopefully when power goes out,
Go
hopefully,
ahead, sorry.
well, hopefully when power goes out, the electricity, if it's sunny, can be generated from within the building to keep the heat pumps working.
I think he said about half the power that they needed comes from the solar panels they have.
Mhm.
And that's particularly impressive because it's not just lights and computers, it's all the operation of those heat pumps in the building. So the electric use of that building is really high because of it being a green efficiency system. And this is, my understanding is that Morse High runs the same way, designed the same way, geothermal and heat pumps, and I don't know how much solar. And that this is the standard model the Department of Education is using going forward for new school buildings.
I
That
think
makes
that
total-
is true, and more power to
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Anyway.
So have they mentioned any like problems? Like, are there like cold spots that they can't deal with, or did they mention any problems, or is it kind of running well?
The people from the staff there and the two students didn't seem to indicate that there was any
It really
issues.
didn't seem to have any problem. Isn't
No.
that something?
Yeah.
And the kids don't even realize how unique this building is. So my mission is to try to get the kids enthused about it and the building of the future and spread the word as to how it's functioning. But by training the advanced biology kids and their teachers on board for this to be leader to understand the systems and to therefore be able to be leaders for the freshmen coming in that they're building. That building is really unique. And then there's no reason why their cell phones can't connect with the data on the dashboard in the main entranceway to the building as the students do in Camden High School. And therefore they can participate and start thinking about weather and how weather affects solar collection and how weather affects the heat needs of the building. It's a great learning opportunity, and the principal and the science staff seem engaged in making it work better. I'm just a spark to help it happen.
Are there any documents available that explain how a system like this works?
Nope, not that you could read. You could go to the man who helped design it and spent 6 years designing it, who is an engineer, a mechanical engineer, works for a living, and
Well,
you wouldn't be able to understand them all. It's not been
yeah.
and summarized for the public.
Yeah, they were talking about having they were gonna hold, a public meeting or a tour, I forgot, a similar tour or something, but they were gonna have the diagram of the system up like on a big poster board, for that. But I don't know what else, if you're, and he basically said, if you want to know something about heat pumps, just Google it because they're all over the web. It's just like, there's a ton of examples of how they work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this particular system is just, the simple case, with a ton of additional engineering. It's just, just, anyway, it was an impressive system. Let's put it that way.
So glad you came.
Yeah.
Well, good. Glad we have it. So, I guess about it.
Yeah. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Oh, we didn't.
Next
do the,
agenda items, have we got some things we want to be putting on?
Well,
Next agenda?
second invitation for public comment.
I'm sorry about that.
Public?
It's so nice if you have a second. I'd like to make the public comment that that's a very nice custom. And I don't have any further public comments.
Okay.
Oh, next.
Anyone out there in the
Well,
world?
Next item for the next agenda is to prioritize our climate action steps and start thinking about which groups or town staff are going to be helping to do those, right?
Yeah, I think we just really need to be ready to pay attention during the month of January.
Hmm.
And follow your email. Read your emails, comment promptly. No matter how busy we are.
Yeah.
If we, if we're not on top of it during the month of January, then we're gonna, really lose out.
Yeah,
So, anyway, just make a
thank you.
plea for that to all of you and particularly to myself.
Very good. Thank you, Nick.
So. Motion to adjourn,
All right, I'll do it.
second,
I'll second it.
anyone, all in favor?
Aye.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank
you.
so, that's it.
Cutting it down.